Executive Summary. Field Detail HTF. Bias, bearish, short-term corrective within bullish macro structure. Current phase, PO3, distribution, weekly candle printing bearish displacement from all-time high. Active kill zone, weekend close/Asia open prep, no active kill zone. Primary draw on liquidity, SSL cluster, 7,200 to 7,250, daily FVG stack plus prior BOS origin. Institutional narrative. Having printed ATH above 7,600 and swept BSL, institutions are now distributing into the weekly FVG 7,350 to 7,400 while engineering a deeper retracement toward the daily FVG confluence at 7,200 to 7,250 before any resumption of the macro bullish leg.
The gap between knowing and doing is not an information problem. You do not need another strategy. You do not need a better indicator. You do not need to watch more YouTube videos about order blocks. What you need is an understanding of why your brain overrides your rules, and a system that works with your psychology rather than against it. That is what this video is. It is the reason this channel is called Trading Be in the Zone. The zone is not a price zone. The zone is a mental state. There are 6 psychological traps that cause traders to override their rules. Every low-score trade you have ever taken was caused by at least one of these 6. The first is revenge trading, entering immediately after a loss to recover the money with no setup and pure emotion as the trigger. The second is boredom trading, entering because you have been watching the chart for 3 hours and nothing has happened. The third is FOMO, watching a move happen without you and chasing it after it is already run. The fourth is overconfidence, taking a marginal setup because your last 3 trades won and you feel invincible. The fifth is loss aversion paralysis, having a perfect 5 out of 5 setup in front of you and not taking it because your last trade lost and you are afraid. The sixth is hope trading, staying in a losing trade past your stop because you hope it will reverse. Let me go deeper on the 2 that cause the most damage, revenge trading and loss aversion, because they are opposites, and most traders experience both in the same session. Revenge trading happens because your brain treats a trading loss the same way it treats a physical threat. The amygdala fires, cortisol spikes, and your prefrontal cortex, the part that knows the rules, goes offline. You are not making a rational decision when you revenge trade. You are in a threat response. The antidote is not willpower. You cannot willpower your way out of a cortisol spike. The antidote is a mandatory pause protocol, a rule that says after any loss, you close the platform for a minimum of 30 minutes before you are allowed to look at another chart. Loss aversion paralysis is more insidious because it masquerades as caution. You have a perfect setup, 5 out of 5, every filter aligned. The confirmation candle has closed, and you sit there frozen, watching price move without you because your last 2 trades lost and your brain has decided that trading is dangerous. Loss aversion is a cognitive bias that makes losses feel approximately twice as painful as equivalent gains feel pleasurable. That is hardwired into every human brain. It kept your ancestors alive. In trading, it destroys your expectancy by causing you to skip the exact setups you should be taking. The antidote is process commitment, deciding in advance, before you sit down at the chart, that any setup scoring 5 out of 5 is taken. No deliberation in the moment. The decision was already made. Now, I want to introduce the zone model. There are 3 states you can be in when you sit down at your chart. The first is the hot state, emotionally activated, cortisol elevated, recent loss or miss still live in your mind. In the hot state,
every bias in the list of 6 fires more easily. You should not trade from the hot state. The second is the cold state, emotionally flat, disengaged, bored. In the cold state, boredom trading and FOMO are most likely. You should not trade from the cold state either. The third is the neutral state, calm, focused, process-oriented, not attached to the outcome of any individual trade. The neutral state is the zone. Every professional trader you have ever read about is describing the neutral state when they describe their best trading.
How do you get to the neutral state and stay there? There are 4 practices that professional traders use consistently. The first is a pre-session ritual, a fixed sequence before opening any chart. This primes your nervous system for process-oriented thinking. It can be as simple as 5 minutes of slow breathing, reviewing your rules on paper, and setting your maximum loss limit before opening the platform. The second is a post-loss protocol, a mandatory pause after any loss before re-entering, 30 minutes minimum. In that time, score the trade, write 1 sentence, and do something physical. The third is a session limit, a hard cap on trades per session and maximum daily loss. The fourth is outcome detachment, measuring your week by process quality, not P&L.
The pre-session ritual deserves its own moment because it is the single highest leverage action you can take for your trading psychology. Here is the exact sequence I use. Step 1. No charts for the first 10 minutes after sitting down. Instead, I read my trading rules, the 7-step framework, and the score threshold out loud. Not silently, out loud. There is research showing that verbalizing your rules activates a different part of the brain than reading them silently. It creates a stronger commitment effect. Step 2, I set my maximum loss for the session as a number, not a feeling. If I lose that amount today, the platform closes, no exceptions. Step 3, I write 1 sentence in my journal about my mental state right now, before touching any chart. Calm and ready, or frustrated from yesterday. Be careful. That sentence is data. It predicts your trading that session more accurately than any indicator you will ever use.
Now let me give you the complete psychological framework for consistent execution. It has 4 layers. Layer 1, rules. You have them. The 7-step framework, the score threshold, the confirmation candle. This layer's already built. Layer 2, state awareness. Before every trade, you assess your psychological state. Hot, cold, or neutral. If hot or cold, no trade, regardless of setup score. Layer 3, process commitment. Any setup scoring 5 out of 5 is taken without deliberation. Any setup scoring below 4 is not taken without deliberation. These are pre-decisions, made before the emotional moment, not during it. Layer 4, review. After every session, score your state management, not just your trades. This is the feedback loop that improves psychology the same way the journal improves execution.
The most important concept in this entire framework and in this entire course is process detachment. Process detachment means measuring the quality of your decision-making independently of the outcome of any individual trade. A 5 out of 5 trade that loses is a success. You made the right decision. The market produced an unfavorable outcome. Those are 2 separate things, and conflating them is the root cause of every psychological spiral every trader has ever experienced. Once you genuinely internalize that a losing trade can be a good trade and a winning trade can be a bad trade, your relationship with the platform changes completely. You stop trading to win. You start trading to execute. And paradoxically, when you stop trading to win, your win rate goes up because the only trades you take are the ones the framework validates.
Here is the Trading Psychology Daily Checklist. 7 questions you answer before and after every session. Before. 1. What is my state? Hot, cold, or neutral? 2. What is my maximum loss today? 3. What is my rule for closing the platform after a loss? After. 4. Did I take any trades that scored below 4? 5. Did I skip any trades that scored 5? 6. Did I move a stop loss for any reason other than a structural break? 7. Did I stay in the neutral state for the majority of the session? Score yourself out of 7. A session where you score 7 out of 7 but lose money is a successful session. A session where you score 3 out of 7 but make money is a session that needs review. Your psychology score is more predictive of your long-term results than your P&L in any given week.
Here is everything in one place. The 6 psychological traps, revenge trading, boredom trading, FOMO, overconfidence, loss aversion paralysis, and hope trading. The zone model. Hot, do not trade. Cold, do not trade. Neutral, trade from here only. The 4 practices: pre-session ritual, post-loss protocol, session limits, and outcome detachment. The 4-layer framework: rules, state awareness, process commitment, and review. The process detachment matrix: good decision plus bad outcome still equals process success. And the daily psychology checklist: 7 questions, before and after, scored out of 7. This is the complete psychological operating system for a trader who already has the technical edge. The technical edge is built. Now you protect it.
The channel is called Trading Be in the Zone. I chose that name before I filmed a single video because I knew that the zone, the neutral state, was the destination that every technical concept in this course was pointing toward. You cannot be in the zone with a bad system. You cannot be in the zone if you do not trust your entries. You cannot be in the zone if you do not have rules. Videos 1 through 12 built the system that makes the zone possible. This video, video 13, is the one that explains why the zone matters. All that is left now is repetition. Same process, same rules, same state. Every session. The edge compounds.
The free resource for this video is the Psychology Session Checklist, a printable 1-page PDF with the 7 pre- and post-session questions, the Zone Model State Assessment Tool, and the Post-Loss Protocol Timer. Print it, laminate it, and put it next to your monitor. It is the bridge between knowing these principles and actually using them under pressure. The link is in the description. If you have watched every video in this series from video 1, thank you. The complete SMC and PA Fusion framework is now built. Every concept, every zone type, every confirmation pattern, every psychological protocol. What comes next is application. Watch the live reviews, score your trades, do the psychology checklist, and trust the process. The edge is already there. You just have to execute it consistently.